The first of the four quarter-finals is being contested tomorrow afternoon between Wales and Argentina, both looking to secure a place in a Rugby World Cup semi-final and create history for their country. Now the teams are out. Michael Cheika and Warren Gatland respectively have named their starting 15s, with both having actually a strong bench as well. And in this video I'm going to be running through the teams, looking at some of the key matchups, and ultimately we'll be giving a prediction at the end. So let's start off with the front row as always. Gallo, Montoya and Gomez Codella is the front row for Michael Cheika's men, with Warren Gatland naming Thomas, Elias and Thomas Francis. Now, usually I was expecting Dowie Lake to be starting at hooker, but Elias gets the nod. Wales are blessed with some good depth at hooker. Obviously Ken Owens is there as well, not in this tournament unfortunately. So they've got three really strong contenders for hooker. And then for Argentina, Montoya playing for Leicester Tigers in the Gallagher Premiership. He actually won the Gallagher Premiership a couple seasons back. We had a lot of good experience there in that front row. I'd describe both front rows as very dynamic. They can get around the park very well, and it'll be a good contest at set piece, especially scrum time. Going into the second rows, Petty partners Lavanini for Argentina, whilst Rowlands partners Beard for Wales. The Welsh second row have got through so much work in this tournament, real workhorses, get through plenty of tackles, plenty of clear outs of rucks, and do carry the ball well as well. Moving into the back rows, this is a real good contest between Gonzalez, Kremer, Issa, and Morgan, Raphael and Wainwright. Now unfortunately the Welsh have had a good bit of disruption unfortunately in their back row with the loss of Talupe Faletau. Now Faletau is one of the best players and has been one of the best number 8s in the world over a long stretch of time, consistently in people's probably top 5 or minimum top 7 to 10 in the world. So it's a big loss for Wales, but fortunately Welsh are blessed with some really good depth in the back row. Morgan shifts from 7 to 6 and Tommy Raphael comes in with Wainwright moving from 6 to 8. So look, just a little bit of a rejig there for Wales, and it will still be a very strong back row. Wainwright's probably one of the most underrated players, especially in Welsh players. He does get around the park very well, very mobile, gets through a good chunk of work, and he's very fast. Like, it actually surprised me some of the film I've seen of him playing. He does cover the ground very quickly for a big man. Now, the Argentinian back row has had a bit of disruption as well, and with Pablo Matera not featuring in the back row, which surprised me for sure, but it's still a very strong row. Gonzalez, Kremer and Issa are all very strong ball carriers and do love to take the ball into contact and can also be quite elusive, got some good footwork there, but the likes of Kremer, they just want to carry it in really hard, bounce players and get over the gain line. So that battle's going to be really interesting, and it'll be good to see how Morgan and Raphael can get over that ball at ruck time and try and pilfer some ball and steal some possession for their teams. Moving into the back lines, Cabelli and Davies are opposite numbers at scrum half. Davies has been very impressive for Wales, obviously Gareth Davies moved to being the number 1 in terms of tries scored from scrum halves at World Cup, which is a brilliant achievement, and he'll be delighted with that. But he's brought a lot to this Welsh team, very good line speed, he loves to shoot out the line. Look, he loves a good intercept as well, and the speed of ball he brings, contrasted with the box kicking ability, he's a very complete scrum half. At fly half, it's Carreras against Biggar. Both players have played in the Gallagher Premiership recently. Carreras for Gloucester, and then Dan Biggar has recently left Northampton Saints to pursue the French dream of playing for Toulon. Both players are quality. Carreras is probably not a natural fly half, he's coming off of the wing. Does offer a bit of pace at fly half, so you don't want to drift off of him too early because he can definitely make a line break. And then you've got Biggar, who's just the ultimate competitor, very competitive player, loves to win each individual segments of games. If he puts in a big tackle or anything like that, the same way a lot of the English players do, they like to celebrate it. And look, there's video circling of Biggar being potentially quite ruthless to some of his players who've made mistakes, but ultimately people will like it, people won't like it, but the best players ultimately drive the highest standards, and Biggar is definitely one of them. And moving into the centres, Choco Barres and Nick Tompkins battle for the number 12. Look, that gain line battle is going to be really interesting. Choco Barres is probably more of a direct runner, whereas Nick Tompkins likes to use his footwork to offset defences and create go-forward momentum in a slightly, but still effective method. Number 13, Cinti and North. Plenty of pace in that number 13 jersey. Lucio Cinti played former for the London Irish, which obviously he's a former player now for them because unfortunately they went under. And then George North, playing back in Wales, he's playing some really good stuff after moving from the wing to the outside centre jersey. Moving into the back three. Now this is a lethal back three on both sides. You've got Matteo Carreras, let me specify, not to be confused with the fly half. Lethal, absolutely lethal, unreal pace, footwork, tenacity, aggression in the collision, loves to defend. Look, Carreras is a proper winger, very strong, and look, he's going to be very difficult to get past on offensively, and he's going to be very difficult to stop defensively. Unfortunately, Carreras, for my liking, doesn't really come off his wing enough for me. I think if he was to get involved more, he'd have a huge impact on the Argentinian success, but he's still a quality player nonetheless. And then you've got Josh Adams on the left wing for Wales, one of Wales' most consistent players over the last sort of 5 years, featuring in the Lions tour in 2021. He's grown into really quality player. He used to play for Worcester in the Gallagher Premiership, and now he's moved back to Wales and has found some real good form, brilliant pace, and look, similar to Dan Biggar, just so competitive, loves the fine wins on the rugby pitch, is very good in the air, and will be a handful for the Argentinians to defend. Number 14 jersey, you've got Boffelli against Luis Rees-Zammit. Look, Boffelli plays a slightly different role in the Argentinian side to Luis Rees-Zammit. Boffelli loves to kick the ball, he's brilliant off of the kicking tee, whereas Luis Rees-Zammit loves a bit of open space, loves to burn players, step players, and is definitely a lethal finisher. So they're both very important to their teams, but in slightly different ways. And then at fullback, you've got Malia against the very impressive Liam Williams. Liam Williams has really set this World Cup alight for Wales, and look, his ability in the air is second to none. I'd almost like to see it utilised more. Stick some high bombs up and send Liam Williams after it, and he can cause absolute havoc in the backfield for oppositions. And then Malia is a good running threat for Argentina. He's got a good boot on him as well, but I'd definitely edge towards Liam Williams being the more experienced and probably the player in better form. So look, two really strong starting 15s. I'm just going to whiz through the benches, not to take up too much time. For Wales, we've got Lake, Domaszewski, Lewis, Jenkins and Chinza in the forwards on the bench. And then for the backs, we've got Thomas Williams, who will bring a lot of pace to the scrum half jersey. If they're potentially trailing against Argentina, he can really speed the pace of the game up and create some change. Costello and Dyer. Unfortunately, Gareth Anscombe is injured, otherwise I'd presume he'd be on the reserves bench instead of Costello. But look, it'd be good for the young fly half if he does get on the pitch to experience a Rugby World Cup quarter final. And then for Argentina, you've got Creevy, Scalvi, Bello, Alemano, Bruni, Bazin Valles, Sanchez and Moroni. Nicolas Sanchez, it's always good to see his name on the team sheet. He's been playing at the top of the international rugby game for such a long time now, and look, he's definitely going to go down in the history books of Argentinian rugby. He's been a great servant to them. So look, what do the bookies think? It's predicted that Wales will come away victorious by a margin of 4 points. Look, this game could really go either way. You'd have to edge towards Wales. The Welsh are in some real rich vein of form at the moment. And look, I think that if they're going to win, it's got to be their defence that wins it. They're so phenomenal, can make so many tackles repeatedly, and have been very impressive. Me personally, I reckon Wales win by about 10 points. I think, look, it could be close at stages, but I think they could just pull away with it at the end. The previous score was a Welsh win by 7 points, by 20 points to 13. I think that was in 2022. And just a key point just to look at, so far in this tournament, the Argentinians have had an average ruck speed of 3.3 seconds, and that is compared to what the Welsh ruck speed being just over 5 seconds. So look, if Wales are going to go on to win this game, they've got to slow that ruck ball down for Argentina. They can't be having, sort of a second and a half faster ruck ball, because that could really be dangerous. They've got to get on the ruck and slow the ball down, get hands on the ball, try and do it legally, of course. So that's a big responsibility for Morgan, Raffel and Wainwright. So look, the ruck's going to be a key point in this game, and you'd have to favour the Welsh in terms of the jackling ability. So look, I do edge towards Wales. It could be a very tight contest. The Argentinians love to turn up in a World Cup. I remember the upset in 2015 where they defeated Ireland. So yeah, all's to play for, and it should be a very good watch. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. Leave your score predictions and ultimately the key matchups between the players. Look, there's some good battles in there. Kremer against Raffel, Gonzalez against Morgan in the back row, and then Carreras against Dan Biggar at fly half. Some real good contests there, and let's hope for it to be a good watch and plenty of points scored. But yeah, thank you very much for watching.